You are part of the cheetah extinction that is happening in the world right now. I'm sure by now you're wondering, how are you part of this cheetah extinction? Let me tell you how. In the Gulf states and social media, hundreds of people post videos of themselves with various wildcats. To some, this is a sign of prestige. And whenever you're watching those videos on your Instagram feeds and Facebook pages, and you like and share those videos, you're becoming part of that system which is creating the cheetah extinction. And because of your shares and likes, it's encouraging the people doing these cruel acts to animals even more. Now, that attention created by your likes and shares on social media creates a cycle of demand and supply of these poor animals to be hunted and sold for thousands of dollars in the black market and transported illegally to the Gulf states as pets.
Scientists say there are an estimated 7,100 cheetahs left in the wild.
In the Horn of Africa, cheetah cubs have fallen victim to global warming and pet trade. Left vulnerable due to their loss of habitat, they are now increasingly being targeted by poachers.
These tigers, lions and leopards are often poached in the Horn of Africa and sold illegally to rich families on the Arabian Peninsula.
This lucrative black market of illegal trafficking is done through Somaliland, the Horn of Africa. This is Huda, a wildlife rights activist from the heritage Somaliland. She rescues and keeps wild animals from the traffickers.
When we say wildlife trafficking in Somaliland or like wildlife issues in Somaliland, it's happening in a ways that like smugglers sometimes go all the way to Ethiopian border, out of Somaliland of course, and then got some animals, specifically cheetahs, because cheetahs are the mainly trafficked animal. They got cheetahs from Ethiopia, pass through Somaliland, and then take these animals to Yemen and cross the coast border. From Yemen then to Saudi Arabia, Oman or Kuwait. So sometimes also they do not only traffic cheetahs from Ethiopia, but also they hunt within Somaliland and got cheetahs from Somaliland, then also takes to these channels of the coastline of Somaliland to the Gulf, and then to Yemen, and then the same to these other Arab countries.
We have also met with Gunther, who initiated the program in 2011, which is still running to date with the help of the Somaliland government.
When I was here in Somaliland, I have heard since long time something a little bit about wildlife trafficking, about cheetah trafficking. I have seen also quite early some cheetahs in some cages in some restaurants, but I have not really dealt with it. And then after a time, we pushed the authorities for a confiscation. So this was basically how it has started. And then we tried always to cooperate with the administration, Ministry of Environment, police and others. And so more and more confiscated animals, not only cheetahs, came to us for care.
It's early in the morning, and all the cats that were rescued as cubs are eager to get their meal for the day. The big cats get approximately 1 kilogram, and the small ones 800 grams of pure red meat. Jamal is the only one who has gained trust from the animals, and a sight of him brings joy to the cats. And within a minute, a whole kilogram is gone.
Sometimes one fish.
This wildcat, specifically the cheetah, is the most trafficked, with an estimate of about 300 cubs being trafficked every year, which is more than the number of cubs born. Today, we're going to see the new construction of a national sanctuary 70 kilometers east of Hargeisa. The 1 kilometer square land on which it sits on was donated by the government of Somaliland in a fight to protect these wild cats.
We are here today in Debis. Debis is the national sanctuary for Somaliland wild animals. It is around Hargeisa, almost 70 kilometers southeast Hargeisa, and almost 12 kilometers from the road to the Bato. In here, as you can see from my back, there's some live animals here, antelopes, especially the gazelles, some ring gazelles from Somaliland coast originally, but who were kept in Hargeisa for some years. And then when we built Debis in 2017, we transferred some from Ministry of Interior's compound, and then later on there was some other transfers from private compounds in Hargeisa and the military compound. This is one sample of a cheetah enclosure here, where actually it's now, if you can see, this is small. So it's like for smaller cheetahs. But like for the big cheetahs we have in Hargeisa compound, we're thinking to expand it from like back to the back. So we can make it fit for the big cheetahs we keep now currently in Hargeisa. So for enclosure, this is like how the enclosure of a cheetah is going to be. If you can see, it is higher than the enclosures of gazelles, because cheetahs usually jump. That's why. We're now standing this side of Debis. Of course, the same with other animals. This is now under the construction. If you can see this enclosure here. This is for the lions in Hargeisa. And this is Ministry of Environment doing this for the lions in Hargeisa, because there was a lot of troubles with the lions in Hargeisa recently. And then the ministry and Somaliland government decides to make this enclosure here in Debis for the lions.
The fastest animal in the world has become a symbol of a trafficking industry worth billions a year, which is responsible for emptying up the planet's remaining wild spaces.
Usually, like from these rural areas where they got these animals, it's not that costly. Like maybe like $50, $20, or maybe $100. But like with the smugglers, it's just like increases. It's to hundreds of dollars to thousands of dollars. So it's not specific amounts of money, but sometimes it says like between $8,000 to $12,000. So it's crazy money. That's why like these people are trying to traffic all the cheetahs they can find, from the wild nature to these like cities and luxury lives in the Gulf.
Now, on the edge of the desert, these exotic animals used to living in the tropics have ended up as prisoners in this tiny zoo.
runtii muddooyinkii ugu dambeeyey waxa weeye wasaaraddu waxay imika gacanta ku haysaa 27 hareemcad oo la soo badbaadiyey oo laga soo kala badbaadiyey waxa weeye gobolada Jamhuuriyadda Somaliland, xeebaha Somaliland, gobolada Sool, Sanaag, Togdheer, Awdal, Salal iyo xeebaheena oo dhan. Marka runtii 27 kaasaan xanaaneynaa waxa weeye dad baa lagu soo qabtay waxa weeye waxaad dareemi kartaa runtii hooyo laga soo hoos qaaday ilmaheeda. Marka runtii bulshadan waxaan ku wacyigelinaa in duurjoogta duurkeeda lagu ilaaliyo. Marka runtii waxa weeye wasaaraddu waxay la iyadoo kaashanaysaa hay'adaha wada shaqaynta leeyihiin waxay la tacaalaysaa xanaaneynta 27 ka hareemcad. Marka runtii xaaladooda caafimaad way fiican yihiin dhakhaatiirta gacanta ku haysa.
As long as the money from the oil kingdom continues to drain forests of wildlife around the world, this young generation is unlikely to ever see cheetahs in the wild.